Hi, I'm Rubsy. You most likely clicked on this video because you want to improve your building skills in Minecraft, and I am here to teach you. In this video I will give you guys some tips and tricks to get better at building, starting with the very fundamentals of building all the way up to detailing and how to improve your builds into a current setting. So landscaping as well, improving the exterior, and most importantly giving your builds character. Also, if you think you are quite good at building and are experiencing some kind of builder's block, I'll give you guys some tips on that as well. Let's follow me through this door and get right into building. Spawning in a new world, and when you load in, the first thing is actually already important, so it is the surrounding areas, if my screen isn't freezing again. So as you can see, we spawned in on some sort of, well, kind of island-ish. The ocean is right here, there's a forest over here, and we are faced with our first decision that is important for building nice looking builds, and that is the location. Over here I see a flower forest, and this could be a very nice spot to place your house because of all the colors. You can integrate that into your build, so when you add in a lot of color in your build, it won't really look weird because the surrounding areas is filled with color as well. Over here on the other hand, we have a spruce forest, so a little bit of a darker themed build will look better in here. Stuff like this broken nether portal can also be a kind of a different look on how to build your stuff. So if you were to build right next to it, maybe the nether is taking over your build a little bit, give it a little bit of character as well, which is very important for making cool looking builds. Once you've chosen your location you want to place your building, it is time to focus on step 2, which is the shape. Most people when they're starting building, they opt for a square or a rectangle for their base. This could be a good option because it is quite easy to work with, but it is a little bit more interesting if you add small features to it. So for example, if you thicken a little square or circle surrounding this area, you could build a tower from that, maybe just a little bit of an extension at this side, just something like that maybe. And even when you look at your surrounding area, if you are going on a mountain cliff, you can have some height variations in there, or maybe on the side of the water, if you were to place it pretty close to here, you could extend a dock from your building as well. And those are all features you should kind of keep in the back of your head while deciding your shape. Once you have decided on your shapes, it is important to kind of look at what you've created thus far. So no details at all, not even a roof or something, and just look at your build. And this is, I guess, mainly from experience, but I know that this part over here is quite a big flat wall. So maybe, using some granite for now, we could get a chimney over here maybe. And this is just the main shape as well. This will change a bit. But now I know that I don't really have walls that have flat surfaces and are really long as well. So the longest part that is flat is, I guess, right over here. And this is a 6 block. But I will place the front door probably over here, raise this up a little bit, but you'll see that in a little bit. The next important step is the block usage. So right now we are having quite an interesting shape, and I think we can work with this really quite well. But the blocks are still very plain. We only are using spruce wood, cobblestone, and some granite in the back. And to be honest, that's just quite boring. So maybe we should get some stripped spruce logs and create a bit of a divider at the bottom right here. And for now, I'm just placing them more like this, and over here as well. Just deleting the few bottom blocks and placing those right side up. This way, it looks like your build has a small foundation layer at the bottom. It would look more like a real structure, and it just gives it a bit of variation to it as well. So what you could do is from the front facing side, use some of those as well. So if you delete it and place it very quickly, you can have a few of those blocks. Just place in a couple like that, maybe one over there. Over here I know you can see the side, but it doesn't really matter that much. It just makes it look kind of cozy, maybe a bit homemade style. And once you've placed in a couple of those, just randomized a bit, this already looks a bit more, well, I wanted to say interesting, but it also looks quite weird for some people, I'm sure about that. For towers like these, I like to get some either polished andesite or stone bricks, some regular andesite and regular stone, and for the sides just going up one block at a time with either the polished andesite or the stone bricks, because in my opinion this makes it look very detailed, and also it makes it look like it's a real structure. So for the inside, of course, you don't really have to do that much because you won't really see that. But on the outside, doing this in its own, it just makes it look a bit more structured, and it makes it look quite strong. And then starting from the bottom layer will have mainly out of cobblestone, but just pepper in a couple of andesite blocks going all the way up, and just have them a bit frequently in the middle. Like cobblestone, andesite, stone is kind of a rule you can have in mind. So at the top, mainly stone and andesite, a couple of cobblestone blocks in there as well, and a couple of stone going all the way to the bottom, which gives it quite a nice fade. Doing this all the way around will help, well, it helps me a lot, because it just makes it quite detailed, even though it's a flat wall. A couple of stones in here, stone over there maybe. And just doing stuff like this makes it look like there is some weathering at the bottom, but the top is still quite nicely. You can also mix in some mossy stone, which helps very nicely with the grass. I'll show you that in a little bit. As you can see, having a couple of mossy cobbles at the bottom, maybe one of those turn into a mossy stone brick, helps it kind of connect to the grass, because the green is kind of seeping in through here. It makes it look like it has been here for quite a while. For the chimney, I like to have a mixture of the polished granite, the regular granite, and the bricks, and just kind of sporadically place them here and there. Maybe the granite over there. And that makes it look quite structured, so the granite kind of uses as the main block. The bricks kind of make it look like the chimney has been broken at some places and now you're trying to fix them up, and these make it look quite structured as well. It's doing the same as these for the wall. Moving on to step 3, it's the roof. And first of all, you have to know that there are multiple roof designs. One of those is a slab pattern, another one is a simple stair or A-frame design. You also have different options, kind of like this, where you place a block in between the two stairs. You can also have roof like this, where you start with the simple step pattern and then just top it up with some slabs like this. So the way I use this kind of knowledge to create my roof designs is just kind of how high I want the roof to be. So with a simple step pattern, it will be kind of like that. But when you place a block in the middle, this building will be a lot taller. And then if you place slabs, it will be a lot smaller. So based on that, I most of the time choose the roof design just knowing how tall the build will be. So for this, I think a simple step pattern will do. Maybe slabs going into there, and then over here just maybe, well, maybe like some sort of pyramid. As you can see right here, I went for a simple step pattern on the main shape. Then on the jut out point, I went with some double slabs, and you have to kind of fill in the walls accordingly. So here as well, and make sure to mix them up if you feel like that. So maybe over there, a small point. And on this side, of course, as well. And just to show you guys some other things you can do over here, you could, for example, place the stairs facing this way. You can place in fences, fence gates. You can even open them up. Maybe even open some of them up if you go for a slightly different look. You could go for some trapdoors, maybe even some ladders. Like this, it looks a little bit weird, but even walls could work nicely. And just to show you guys, there are loads of different options as well. I think the one behind me is one of the most used ones, but we're just going with that for now. Then for the roof itself, you could just fill it in with stairs like this, but you can also maybe use some full blocks. So let's see, that could look good as well. With something a little bit unusual, like red nether bricks. You can even go with stuff that is quite weird, like a full wheat roof. I don't know, could look quite cool actually. For now I just went with regular oak logs and I raised this tower a little bit. So for the tower I topped it off a little bit differently. I used dark oak stripped logs for this part over here, some stripped spruce on the outside for kind of the border surrounding it. I kind of held that up with some stairs and fence gates. So from the bottom it looks quite good because the fence gates are kind of in front of the dark oak, which I really like. And from here it doesn't really look too bad, I guess. Then the top, I kind of used an A-frame pattern like this, so simple stairs going up with dark oak fence gates on the bottom, and on these points I just used regular dark oak fences. Then just normal spruce logs for the stair with a dark oak trapdoor at the bottom. So this isn't really too hard, and I thought to kind of shorten this video I will just skip the part of building that. So we got the shapes, we got the blocks, and we got the roofs in right now. Then it's time for part 4, which is detailing. I decided to put the last 3 steps, being detailing, exterior, and giving your build character, into a cinematic time lapse and just talk over it. So basically what I'm doing right now. I was originally just going to show what I did on screen as I was building it, but figured out that that really isn't a good way of showing these steps. You can see me place in the front door and some windows, finalize the chimney and touch up the landscape a bit. I do this mainly because of the last step, and that is adding character to your building. I think that it's really important to create some sort of small story for your buildings, and with that story have a reason why you are placing down the blocks. By that I don't mean to write a story on paper, but mainly in your head. For example, maybe the owner of this house was bored of living in the big city and moved away. He made himself a shelter out of this centuries-old wizardry tower and is now experimenting with magic in the extension on the side of the house. Maybe a potion fell on the ground and that's why there are weird plants growing against the wall. Or maybe he uses the tower as a storage silo for all the wheat he is gathering because he believes that when you let your wheat rest in barrels for 2 years, the bread made from that wheat would be the most delicious thing you could ever eat. I don't know, just something random like that really makes a build come to life and will make your creations a bit more personal. It lets you make decisions that otherwise you wouldn't make, and that gives your building that sprinkle of flair and pizzazz. Oh, and by the way, if you are experiencing builder's block, you don't necessarily need to build anything. You can try something else, like maybe do the MCC parkour, which I tried over here. It didn't really go too well, but I had fun anyways. How? No, no, that jump is way too hard. I can't finish this last obstacle. It's too hard, and I can't be bothered trying some more. But I feel like I'm rambling on. I should probably quit this video right now before I add a lot of stuff to this, and it will just not make sense anymore. So thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you learned some things from this tutorial. I know it was a bit fake, but I can't really do anything about that. Well, yeah, I'll see you guys later, I guess. Oh, also, like and subscribe. I forgot to say it, but you know what to do. Goodbye.